Hi, welcome back to this week's episode. This week's I thought I'd do a bit of a public service video, or a community service video. I know there are tons and tons of videos out there explaining the difference between the chase models, the various chase models, when it comes to Hot Wheels collecting. But still, every week, you see the questions from new collectors on the Facebook boards and on Instagram posts, in our WhatsApp groups. People still struggle to even though they know the theory, looking for what the differences are between the basic and the chase models. They still struggle when they have the two together in hand, to maybe notice the smaller differences between the cars. So today I thought I'd put together all of the various chase models, and we'll check out what the differences are when you actually have them side by side, and you have the super version and the basic version of the same car, and to see what those differences are. All right, so stick around for that, and I'll get right on that. Right, consider this my community service post. Let's have a look at the differences between the chase models, the Hot Wheels chase models. I've got all of the different ones in front of us. They don't not all necessarily from the same case. The basic definitely is an older one. Just looked for one that had a prominent logo for this example. So let's get on to the most common ones. The differences between Super Treasure Hunt, its basic version, and a regular treasure hunt. Right, so I'll put this aside. I want to speak more about the regular treasure hunts in a bit. Okay, so this one, the differences are pretty obvious. You do find that with some of the supers, the paint and the wheels match up very closely with its basic counterpart. With the 57 Chevy, however, this is not the case. This is very easy to distinguish, apart from the fact that one has got plastic wheels and the other one has got rubber wheels. You can just see the tread very slightly. I hope I can focus on that. And then obviously one of the most obvious ones, the Spectraflame paint. This one comes in regular paint. This one has the Spectraflame paint. You'll see it's very much got that metallic shimmer, very distinguishable. And then in this case, and which isn't always the case, there's even a color difference in the rims. A big difference there. So that makes it pretty obvious. There's also obviously the little Hot Wheels flame logo at the back of a Super Treasure Hunt. You get a golden one on the Super Treasure Hunts. You get a silver or a grey one at the back of the cards of the basic Treasure Hunts. But sometimes the models, depending on what model it is and the size of the model, sometimes those get obscured, and you don't, there's no use looking for them because you don't always see them. You'd actually have to open up the package to see the difference. Right, so we get lots of new collectors, especially when there's not a big obvious difference in like the coloring, and you have to have a closer look at sometimes the wheels, or look for the thread on the rubber tires to actually spot the difference. They do sometimes get very excited very quickly when people post the one on saying that they found the Super Treasure, and then they might have found the basic on the same day, without necessarily having or knowing exactly what to look for or what the differences are. So those are the physical differences between the two, and as I said, not always very obvious. Then also the term treasure hunt also tends to cause a bit of confusion. Not all of them realize that there's a difference between a treasure hunt and a super treasure hunt. The super treasure hunt's actually a lot more rare. With the short cards, and I've mentioned it in the video before, they tend to be even rarer. I think, judging by the rate that we find them here in South Africa, we always get as a rule, we get the short cards. Some of our some of our retailers stock long cards from time to time, and I have seen that when they do stock long cards, the the hit rate of finding supers tend to be a little better for those cases. So it does appear that overall the short card supers are even uh, that they're even more thinly distributed than the long card counterparts. So yeah, that does make them a lot harder to find. Um, with the basic treasure hunts, and this is also a distinguishing feature of supers between supers and regular treasure hunts is you'll find the basic in every case, sometimes multiples of them. Obviously not so with the super. You'll only find that in every, around here, I tend to think it's more every 15 to 18 cases perhaps, if you're lucky. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. When it comes to the basic treasure hunts, uh, you don't always find one in each and every case, but more often than not, there's should be one in every case. Sometimes certain distributions do miss out on the regular treasure hunt. But I mean, out of three cases, for instance, you'll probably find a basic treasure hunt in two of them. Uh, as mentioned before, you've got the little circle flame logo on the back of the card, and then very important, the most distinguishing feature of regular hunts is you're looking for the same circle logo somewhere on the model itself. In this case, it's on the nose of the boat. You can even see it usually reflects in the card art as well. So you can just see the little circle flame logo peeking out on the card art as well. So whatever appears on the car, even though it's a chase, will appear on the card art as well. You'll see that the same with super treasure hunts. The card art for the super will match the car. So there are differences between the super treasure hunts card and the basics card. Whatever changes, you'll see if it has tampos on the hood, in this case, for instance, it won't be reflected on the basics card art either. All right. Pro tip: if you walk up to the pegs and it's fully stocked or newly stocked and you're not sure what you are looking for, that's a very important reason, one of the most important reasons why as a collector you still need to familiarize yourselves with the basic treasure hunts, even if you don't collect them. It's the quickest way to tell what cases you're looking at when walking up to fully stocked pegs. Because sometimes they pack out 5 cases of the same case, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they pack out 3 cases of one and 2 cases of the other, and you might end up finding 2 different regular treasure hunts. So that's a good way of telling, telling what case number, what case code you're looking at, which in turn will help you, figure out what super you're looking for. Because obviously, this being basic, it'll repeat in subsequent cases. So sometimes you'll see these cars, but it's not to say that this super treasure hunt will be or would have been on the pegs. You need to find the regular treasure hunt to be certain, because on the US cards on the back, the top where they have the case codes, you can tell the case number by just the case code at the back. On international cards and short cards, they don't. This number here does not correspond with the case number. So I'm not sure if it's in focus, but it doesn't really matter. You'll see the case code in the back of everyone. This does not. That H or on the case code itself, whatever digits those or letters those end in, they have got no correspondence whatsoever to what case they come out of. So there's no way to tell on a short card or an international long card what case it came from, what case you're looking at. The best way, the quickest way, see if you can quickly locate the regular treasure hunt on the pegs to tell you what batch you're looking at. And then obviously the last 2 years we've had a third chase model, which is the ID car. So you get these for the Hot Wheels app and the Hot Wheels game. You get these with the RFID chip in the bottom, so you can scan them into your phone and add them to your racing collection on the game itself. Now with these, I've got the basic and the chase model. With these, it's a little more obvious because there's quite a distinct difference between the card art and the cards themselves. So, I mean, even if you just scan the pegs very quickly, it's very easy to spot the chase cards in a new batch or out of a box. If you've got a sealed case you're opening up, it's fairly quick to spot these. Other than that, main distinguishing feature is the Spectrophone paint. They use the same paint on the ID chases than what they do on the Super Treasure Hunts. So it has that very much like shiny, almost metallic hue to it. It's very nice. It's still plastic wheels and plastic bases though. That has to be for the chip, so that you can scan the chip. They don't make the metal bases. Yeah, so these have become quite popular and almost as rare as supers. Initially, we thought that there'd be more or you'd find them more regularly, but they've been quite tough to get hold of. There haven't been that many. We've seen posted in collectors forums finding these more than they're finding the supers. Yeah, seems with the short cards at least, they could be just as rare. So yeah, I'm hoping that clears up some of the confusion, and I genuinely hope that some of the new guys or even some of the more established collectors find some value in this video. If you like it, please give it a like. If you want to leave a comment below, please do, and subscribe if you want to be notified of future releases. That's it. I'll see you guys soon for the next video. Keep well. Cheers.